So the John Fries Memorial Prize was born out of a wish to remember what he contributed to the Viz Copy Board and his supportive and generous nature to everybody who knew him.
There were over 600 applicants, and from all over the place, like all sort of states and territories, and all throughout New Zealand represented, which was amazing to see. And it was an incredible process going through the applications because, you know, you see a lot of diversity, like a diversity of kind of mediums and subject matter and kind of places and where people come from. But then you also see a lot of commonality in experience, and that's a really kind of exciting thing. I guess the kind of big themes that emerged was a sort of investigation into place was very strong. An investigation into new technology or the way that people interact with technology. And then a really kind of humorous, but in some ways kind of bittersweet kind of theme that came through the applications, which was really kind of looking at anxiety and sort of personal anxiety. So a lot of very kind of sort of self-portrait-y kind of works that looked at artists' anxiety. So it was a really interesting process.
This is a really important prize because it's generous, it's a $10,000 prize. It's also relatively high profile. I think for the artists, it really helps establish their profile. There are artists in this show that I hadn't heard of before, and I do keep an eye out for emerging artists, so that was a real revelation. And also the value of the prize is very important, and you can do a lot with 10 grand when you're an emerging artist.
So I think this is a really important prize because artists should be, there's never enough opportunities for artists to be paid for their work. But I think this one in particular in relation to Viz Copy is really important because the work that Viz Copy does is important work. Artists should be paid for their copyrighted images, and the more people know about that, the more power that will have. So the money that I received for this will help me to go to New York and to attend Performer Festival, and also will contribute to a residency next year in London.
I think it's a really strong exhibition. I think a lot of works have a real psychological intensity. I definitely lingered over a few key works for quite a long time. There's a lot of humour in the show actually. It's quite a lot of cheeky works, very clever. I think the humour would be the theme that runs through it, but a generous kind of humour, not a cynical humour. It's actually more of a playfulness, I suppose, a cheeky playfulness.